Poseidon arrives on multiple maps, but is met with sweeping changes. Let's dig into it. Hello, everybody. Hopp here with some unscheduled ARK news. Now, as usual, Wildcard immediately reacts to the reception of their newest creature with multiple changes and fixes within the first 36 hours of its existence. The Ossidon is a hulking creature that definitely stands out. Some figured it could be a slightly rare spawn, with it being a temporary spawn on Ragnarok, Valguero, and the Center. But we learned that it spawns quite heavily on Ragnarok, with 14 different Ossidons on my server last night, as just an example. The taming mechanic is one that takes a great amount of time and skill to do it perfectly. One must torpor the Ossidon past halfway on its torpor bar, and then ride it as it creates a giant snowball. This snowball needs to gather both medium to small creatures and the ice spikes that shoot from it, which the amount needed varies based on the level of the Ossidon you're trying to tame. If you manage to hit the numbers in the time allotted, you get a 25.1% tame completion and start the process all over for another 3 cycles, for 4 cycles total. If you don't get that perfect 25.1% each time, the cycle will continue until you eventually get that 100% tame, but you will lose taming effectiveness in the process. Wildcard immediately noticed a problem with the base health being too low, and usually aggressive creatures like Argies and etc. continuing to aggro on it during the taming process. This led to Ossidons being killed during the process, and many frustrated players missing out on their Ossidon. So Wildcard came up with a fix. In a patch, base health was increased by 30%. Base melee was increased by 35%. They shortened the ejection timer from 8 to 5 seconds for creatures trapped inside the snowball, and it also prevented creatures aggroing onto the Ossidon once it began the taming process. This was standard for when I tamed my Ossidon on stream last night, and even Ross Clark put a video out with 3 different ways to tame an Ossidon, depending on how you wanted to try it. I grabbed creatures with high health and saddles to take with me to throw out to make sure that there were enough creatures to roll up in the snowball, and that they would also follow me around and stay close the entire time. It worked gloriously. I was able to finally, after a long while, tame an Ossidon. But late last night, Wildcard threw out another patch. Now, on the positive side, they increased the length of the wild ride by 60 full seconds. That means now you've got 3 minutes instead of 2 minutes to chase creatures and spikes for each cycle. That makes the math seem much easier to handle. But they also took away the ability to throw out your own creatures to ensure that you had creatures to absorb always being close. It removes the zombie dodo option that Ross Clark suggested in his video as well, as the only way to have them outside of the event is if you tame them during the Fear Ascended event. So yes, you get longer per cycle. That's because you need longer to make sure you gather the animals, because the cheesy method of throwing your own is gone. I love how Wildcard is seriously trying to make this creature something attainable with the buffs they gave it and the increased riding time when taming. But they also don't want it to be a tame you can easily slide into. This isn't the first time they've done this. Many of you remember Gigantoraptor, its first few days, when you could eliminate or subdue the parent and still do the dance with the baby in order to tame one of the giant nanny birds. Then they removed that ability, and you had to distract with eggs as they intended in the original taming process. This isn't something to get angry at the devs for, because they've always tried to keep any taming process true to the intent of the original planning. I'm sure this won't be the last time that we see dino taming methods get tweaked by the devs as ARK rolls out its new map, Lost Colony, in less than a month. So let me ask you, have you tamed an Ossidon yet? What do you think about the changes made by Wildcard? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'm on the way to my first 1,000 and would appreciate it greatly. Also, join my Discord community, Hopp's Playground. We're slowly creating a cluster of ARK maps to play. Ragnarok is already rolling, and another is going to be added next week as we grow. Until next time, folks, this is Hopp saying take care of yourself and keep on surviving.